All right, I'm in the weekend round of the Paradise Islands tournament. I'm in my 77 account. So here's the way that it's playing out. So in my practice account, I shot a minus 30, and this is absolutely what I'm looking for. Minimum score is minus 12, minus 24 for a round. And so we need to pick up 3 per side. I mean, that's the deal to try and get to the 30. My goal on my goal sheet is minus 30 plus was my weekend goal. And my goal was to ramp it, do 26, 28, 30. So let's see what I did. Not sure what I did in my qualifying round. Should have been a 13 and it was a 12, so I was off by 1. This should have been a 28 and I was at a 27, so it was off by 1. So I'm trying to I think that to win a bracket you'll have to shoot a 30 plus. You may get away. I mean, some brackets you may be able to shoot a 28 and win, but my goal is 30, so that's the deal. Hole number 1. Hole number 1, I'm going to shoot. I'll shoot 9 hole stretches here. Hole number 1, Koh Hong Resort. Hole number 1. Just get a look at it so I can get this fresh in my mind. I've got good notes. Extra Mile Kingmaker. Let's get rid of that. Extra Mile. Number 1 bag. None of the rest of that stuff is going to matter except for possibly the rapier. Kingmaker. This tournament is sponsored by Kingmaker. And I'm going to use the 2nd anniversary ball. Okay, so I'm going to do an Extra Mile Kingmaker. I'm going to balance it out as far as top spin and a right-hand side spin. Half the white ring in the rough and or half of that rough cut. The first cut of the rough, I'm going to do half of that. It's going to be on the outside of my white ring and half of it's going to be in my white ring. Max over power hook. Here we go. And even if I get the drive right, I still have work to do. Here we roll. First hole. 1 hole at a time. I got to do 1 hole at a time and forget about anything else that's happened. We're not trying to make shots so that we can mess up on another one. We're trying to hold on to every single shot that I pick up. That means I got to have the minimum score, that minus 24. I got to have that in the bag. I got to have that down pat. And all I need is to give myself 18 shots. There's 18 holes, 18 shots, and I only need 33% to go in the hole. So I don't have to get them all. I just need to get 33%. Balanced out. And that cut of the rough, when it's fully extended, about half of it. 2-1, it's a 2-1 per ring club, so it's 1 ring. Max over power hook. And I got every bit of that. In the sand, not out far enough. Not quite out far enough. That shot from the sand right there, I need to hit it perfect. If I hit it perfect, it goes in the hole. If I don't hit it perfect, it doesn't go in the hole. But and that's more than I can say for the shots that I would be taking out. So the shots that you're taking out, you have to do an excellent wind adjustment and an elevation adjustment. And you've got to get it all lined up, and you can hit perfect and it won't go in the hole. But the sand stuff or the rough stuff up this close, if you hit it perfect, it goes in the hole. So it's all about hitting this perfect. It's at the hole. Wind's blowing me off this direction. Hitting it perfect. Now let's see if I have the distance. Woo! That's what I'm talking about right there. Picking up the low hanging fruit. Hole number 1 is the lowest hanging fruit in this tournament. I mean, it is the like, if you're gonna pick one up, hole number 1 is like the best shot. And hole number 2 is the next best shot. So coming out of these first 2 holes with a eagle is absolutely the goal. I mean, it'd really be eagle. Hole number 3 is tough to Albie, but like in a perfect world, it'd be eagle Albie. But if you can come out of the first 3 with eagle, that's a huge. I mean, that's 2 right there. That leaves you 6 to try and get 1. So trying to pick them up on the low hanging fruit is huge. That is awesome. Good luck in the tournament. All right, hole number 2, Paradise Islands, weekend round. Hole number 2, Koh Hong Resort, hole number 4. Okay, I need my trusty dusty calculator here. So my clanmates were talking about like using the apps and stuff. Okay, here's the deal. When I'm playing one-on-one, I don't use anything at all. I just know my win numbers for my club, so I just play my win numbers, and I don't really worry too much about elevation because I can't remember that stuff. There's some holes that I just know that, hey, like we do a 10% or we do a 20%, and that'll get me on the right track, but I'm not really too concerned in one-on-one about making those drops. It's nice to make the drops, but I'm not really too concerned about it. What I am concerned about is just making sure that I have my base win numbers right. Okay, so I'm on hole number 2. Let me put a little marker here. So I'm only looking at hole number 2. Hole number 2, I'm doing a 30% wind adjustment, doing 4.5 backspin, 1 per ring. All right, here we go. Let's turn my grid on. Let's get my grid rolling. I have a special grid just for this tournament. I added some ticks on just for this tournament for different holes. So I'm taking a Grizzly and a Navigator, and just got some of those new Kraken balls. I bought a $5 pack. I had $3.69 on my Google Opinion Rewards, so I paid $1.30 for 10 of these balls. That means I can use these on 5 tournament holes if I just use them in the weekend round. So I'm not really too concerned about the side spin here, but I'm looking for a 1 power ball with low wind. That's it. That's the ticket. That's all I need. That's all I need. And it would help if I picked that ball. Not just looked at it. Let's make sure, since we're here, Grizzly. Okay, here we go. So see if we can get a hole in one here. This is all about hitting it perfect. Hit it perfect, I give myself a serious chance of a hole in one. If I don't hit it perfect, I have a 0 chance of it going in. See who goes first. Hopefully I go first. I'm ready. The Rhino goes first. Let's check our opponent out. Got some banners, silver and a couple bronze, 4,900 games, 211 million won, which includes what they put in. So their actual winnings, like what they're up 105,000 and some change. So you can take the 105,000 and divide that by the 4,911 games or however many games they've won out of that 4,911. And that'll tell you the average value of the chests that they've opened. And that'll tell you what tour they got those chests from. So if the number came to 72,000, you'd round it up to the next tour. So it wouldn't be tour 6, it'd be tour 7. If it was 140, it'd be tour 8. So that means they're hanging out between tour 8 and tour 7. 4.5 times 2.7 is a 3.5 ring pull for the wind. Three and a half rings. Try and hit it perfect. Oh, and I hit it great to the left. Oh! 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 That all boils down to perfect. I have so many of these shots on this set up that if I can hit it perfect into the cup, I mean, I am all over it. And I know that some of my wind adjustments as we go through the round are going to seem a little weird, but it's just that's where I'm at. So you have to work the numbers for your clubs, like where you're ending up and what club you're hitting. And if you've got different level clubs and everybody's got different level clubs, everybody's got different level clubs. Some clubs we all like when you get your commons maxed out, then we all have the same level clubs as far as commons. But like epics and some of the rares, you'll have at different levels. Your first goal obviously is to max out your commons. I mean, that should be a big push. And you can do that very quickly if you don't go up. So like if you're opening up a Tour 7 chest, you're having access to every single card in the game. So that means that the cards are going to go up and you're going to get more club cards. So the clubs will go up, but they're going to go up as an entire group. Whereas if you play down in like Tour 3 or Tour 4 or Tour 5 and you hang out there, like I played Tour 5 for like 2.5 months last summer. Every single time I played in a one-on-one, I played Tour 5 because I was trying to work on my Guardian, my Hornet, and my Rock. And I got all three of them. At that time, it was level 8. I got all three of them maxed out in a relatively quick period of time. I took them from level 7 to level 8 really quick. But I had to make a commitment. What hole are we on here? We're on Oasis, hole number 6. I'm trying to just think one hole at a time. It doesn't matter what we shot already, and it doesn't matter what's coming up. All right, I'm on the bounce hole. One of my viewers, one of my teammates, I think, put on there that was their favorite hole name. It is. It's a bounce hole. Doesn't it feel like we're doing like putt golf? Extra mile sniper. Okay, that's what I need. And a kingmaker. And I'm not even going to bring the putter. I'm going to get an Albie right here. I'm ending this first 3 with a -6. Trying to break it into 3-hole stretches, and on each one we have shots to pick stuff up. And so like there's like all 3 of them have a shot, but there's like one of them that's like the shot. And so I want to try and capitalize on all of those. And max topspin, and I'm pulling back until I see it doing the little bounce. And I'm doing a 30% wind adjustment, which will be 3.9. That's 4.2 is 2 rings. So it's just a little shy of 2 rings. Bounce, titty bounce. No overpower, no nothing, just hitting it. Hitting it perfect. And that should put me where I'm going to be pretty close to, I'm going to be right there at like somewhere between very little and 2 topspin. And I'm trying to work the shot so that I can put in 1 left-hand side spin, which straightens the ball guide out a little. And then I'm trying to go right at the hole. The problem down there is that it's wanting to push farther to the left. So it's missing on the left-hand side of the cup, on the outside of the cup. And if I add more wind in, there's the second bounce on this shot is very close to the rough. And if you start hitting grates to the right, or if you start pushing up against that rough, you take a big risk of clipping and ending up way short. So I'm trying to get the number right. So it's 1.15. I'm doing a 15% wind adjustment times 3.2 equals 3.68 rings. And I want to be just on that side of the cup. It's 3.68. That's how many I'm going to move. 3, there's 5, there's about 7. Nice and easy. Hitting it perfect. See if I can get that in the cup. That's a week's worth of practice right there, and let's see if it gets in the cup. That's not the right graphic, but that's damn close. Arr! I'm getting it closer. I know and the deal there is I think I probably should be doing a bigger wind adjustment. And then I could aim right at it and then do like a 30 or a 40% wind adjustment instead of offsetting it like that. But I know when you're setting that shot up, it doesn't look like you're close to that rough down there on the bottom, but you're really close to that rough down there on the bottom on that second bounce if you try and get it straight onto the cup. Because the more you can pull it to the right, the straighter the ball guide will get. So the more you pull it to the left, when you engage the green, you're engaging up here at the top and the ball guide falls down. So the ball guide stretches out, and I'm trying to make it so that it's a straight line shot right to the cup. You definitely don't want to run your topspin out on this hole. It's better to do these little backspin shots. Anytime you're playing one of those holes and your ball guide is appearing and disappearing, stop. And I make the same mistake sometimes. I mean, I'm just as guilty as everybody else. But when you're on those holes and you're moving your ball guide and you're trying to do the topspin and the ball guide's appearing and disappearing, stop. Go back, put on one backspin, push the club all the way up to the hole, and it'll eliminate all of that back and forth, and now you'll be on track. And you may or may not, like on that distance right there, I would still, because I would adjust for the wind. I wouldn't leave the cup, but I would make at least a slight adjustment for the wind. Barely made it. All right. That was not the Albie I was looking for. All right, hole number 4. We're in another 3-hole stretch here, and we've got several holes. This par 3 is not one of them. We have several holes that we have a shot of picking something up. All right, this next hole. I practiced this hole all week long doing a rough bump. And this is hole number 7 of the Oasis. So I practiced this hole all week long doing a rough bump, and for whatever reason, I had adjustments that were working great during the week, and now all of a sudden the adjustments aren't working right, and I ended up in the rough yesterday twice back here on the back side of this green, back here on the back side twice, and was able to recover, but I don't want to dick around with that. Okay, I don't want to have a par 3 put my whole round at risk. So I'm going to come at it, instead of doing the rough bump with the sniper, I'm going to bring the same exact setup. And I'm going to bring a Guardian, and I'm going to stick it right here, and I'm going to just go right to the cup. And I have no idea. I'm going to still do the same wind adjustment I was doing before, which is a plus 20%, but I have no idea as far as backspin or anything what's going on. But I'm abandoning this hole And this whole, so I mean, if I said originally at the beginning of the video, I've got 18 holes and I need to get I need to pick up 6 shots. So that means I need to pick up 33%. Well, I'm taking 2 holes out of the mix. So that's 16 holes. And now I got to get 6. So that's why I'm saying that low hanging fruit, you've got to make your best. You got to do the best you can on that low hanging fruit, because I am giving up a couple holes. I'm taking a Guardian. I'm taking a Kingmaker. I think I can bring a Katana. Because I'm not trying to push all the way up, and I had enough room to get into the rough, so a Katana should work fine. That's all I need. I have no idea what the shot setup is, and I know my club is 1.2 per ring, and it's a 20% wind adjustment. That's all I know. It almost ruined my entire round yesterday, and I was able to recover. I was playing really, really good yesterday. Mark goes first. Let's check Mark out. 5,000 games, 338 million won, 1 bronze banner, 56 win percentage. So 338 divided by 2 divided by however many they won. 2,871. They've been playing, I would say that if you did the math, and I'm just like looking at it like quickly here, 5,000 at 338, they're living somewhere around T8 in order to have that kind of, because I've got 9,200 games and only got 252. I spent a lot of time in T7. I've probably opened up at least 1,000 T7 chests. All of my cash flow has been in T7, so it's at 40 some odd million, so I'm 400 and some odd games up in T7. Okay, 20% wind adjustment times 3.4 equals divided by 1.2. It's 3.4. Right back to where we started. Isn't it perfect? We'll see if I can get it in there with the Guardian. I think it's going to roll out a little long. So I abandoned my rough bump trying to go for it there, and I went to that shot right there, which doesn't mean that I still couldn't get it in the hole, but that's not a shot. That's just laying it up there. That's playing like one-on-one, where I'm just trying to I'm trying to be within my opponent. And if I get a hole in one, I get a hole in one. So I laid down on that hole. Yeah, I think you have to do that though. Like if you're having, I mean, I would prefer that rough bump would have worked out, and then I had a great shot. I have a tick down here set up for it. I was like right on track. I mean, I was right there, but the wind adjustment doesn't seem like, it's like something's going on down there that was different than the earlier this week. I don't know if the wind slightly changed direction or what the deal is. But if you find you're having a problem like that, just go back to playing that particular hole like you play it in one-on-one. Just go out there and just shoot the hole and get your minimum score and move on to the next one, and don't take any risks on the ones that you don't have a shot on, and really focus on the ones that you can try and pick up a hole. So right here we got a par 4, and this is the hardest of the par 4s in this tournament. So like if you're going to get one, I think this might be the second easiest. Let's see which hole this is. This is Oasis hole number 8. This is the next lowest hanging fruit. So we definitely need to maximize our effort on this par 4. I'm bringing a Kingmaker, I know that. This tournament is sponsored. If you've got Kingmakers in your inventory, this tournament is sponsored by Kingmaker. All right, so on the drive, I'm 2 less than max topspin. That's all I need to know right now. It's one shot at a time. Depending on where I end up down there. If I end up right where I want, then I've got a whole shot set up for it. But if I don't end up in that spot, then I'll have to scramble. So it's all about the drive. It's 2 less than max topspin. All the side spin I can put on it on top of that. 2 rings off. That puts me just barely, almost clipping the rough down there. 2.4, there's 2.1. So it's a little more than that. My grid disappeared. I'm going to come out just a little. Hitting it perfect. Just floating it out there into the fairway. Every single bounce on that is 2 rings off of any transitional surface. So that means if you hit a 1 ring great to the left or the right, that shot will go almost exactly to the same spot. And if you hit a 2 ring great to the left or the right, on one of those spots where it gets close to the rough, it may clip the rough and then roll out into the fairway. But that shot really, unless you hit a 3 ring great one side or the other, that shot's going to work. That's the same exact shot. If I'm playing this account in one-on-one, you can take that same exact shot through there from the Pro Tees with a Marlin. All right, so this shot here is straight up at it. 1.75 per ring, so 3.2 divided by 1.75. It's 1.8 rings, and I want to be 5 rings off that transitional surface. Through the inside of the cup, 1.82 rings. There's 2, there's 1.8. Try and hit it perfect. Oh, and I hit it great to the left. Arr! That's 2 pieces of low-hanging fruit that I've missed by that much and didn't hit it perfect on them. So I got those shots set up, and man, if I hit perfect on them, they're in the hole. And so that's 2 shots right there. I'd already have my round going, and I'm only on hole number 5. And I don't, because I didn't hit perfect on those shots. Damn it. Damn it. Damn it, man. To wake up. We do have a hole-in-one shot coming up. And the last par 4 is a tough par 4. Got a couple par 5s to get some albies on. Need to pick it up. Every one of these holes is damn important. And laying off on the 3 low-hanging fruit, I only came out with 1. We have 1 more left. The other 3 are you gotta be, everything's got to go your way on the other 3. I do got a serious shot at Albie though on this next hole. I got this hole dialed in too. And I have hit 1 Albie on this hole this week in the opening round in this account. And it's really important to have, if you can, it's really important to have an Albie tiebreaker, because that puts you, like, no matter where I end up, I'm going to be at the top of that list. I shot a 27 come in. I was the number 1 qualifier coming into this bracket. which is good news. So, I mean, I know the scores that were coming in here, like people pick it up in the weekend round, and anybody in here is capable of popping off a monster score. I mean, my goal in the opening round was 28 to 30, and so shot a 27. And so everybody else's goal was the same way. And so like they're picking it up. So in the weekend round, you've got to expect that it's going to get a shot or two better. So we really need to shoot a 30. And that is not the way to start. Okay, which hole am I on? I'm on hole number 6. Hole number 6. I got a serious looking Albie on this hole. What is it? Hole number 3, Koh Hong Resort. We're back on Koh Hong, hole number 3. All right, looked at it. Bring in a Kingmaker. This tournament is sponsored by Kingmaker. Paradise Islands, sponsored by Kingmaker. And I'm bringing my number 2 bag, a rock and a sniper. Let's turn my grid back on. Since it got turned off for some reason. And Golf Clash is the only app that interferes with this app. All right, here we go. Let's go get an Albie here. I need to pick something up. I need to get some hype going on. I need to get a woohoo going. Missed 2 shots, not perfects. Okay, one hole at a time. Let's forget about what's happened. Let's just play this one hole at a time. Par 5, rock, Kingmaker, plus 10% on the drive. Get out of here, my rock. Max. 2 rings off that transitional surface. That puts me where I'm just clipping the rough down there. I want to be just clipping the rough. It's actually 2 and a little. That's going to be 3.8, 3.9, somewhere in that neighborhood. Right at about 4 rings. I'll put a little bit of curl back to the center line. Hit a 1 ring great on the left. That should be right down there, nice and easy down into the middle of the fairway. That wasn't quite as much room as I would have liked up there. That means a 2 ring great to the left would have not worked. There's plenty of room down there to make it so that all of them work. All right, so this shot right here, I'm a sniper. I'm in minimum club, but I'm going to do a max ring adjustment of 1 per ring. And then I'm going to take off 15% of the wind to the cup. So I'm going to do the wind times 0.85 divided by 1. So 0.85 times the wind will give me a number, and that number is how many rings I'm going to move. And you can use the app for this stuff, but the deal is that you don't get to pick the numbers. Somebody else picked the numbers for you, and I want to work out my numbers. 3.5 equals, I'm going to move it 2.97 rings, so right at 3 rings. 2 rings off. I'm going to dial it up to the cup. I'll be on that side, so it's 3 rings. If I hit this perfect, it's going in the hole. Oh, that's 3 times I've hit and I would have been a little short there, so that would have made it even worse. Oh, that's 3 shots that I didn't hit perfect that were right at it, but on that one, it wouldn't have mattered. It was short. All right. I put myself in position to do the Albie shot, and I didn't make it. We got a serious hole-in-one shot here, and I have got to hit this perfect. So on this next hole, it's 1.4 times the wind divided by 1.2. So we did have on this next hole, this next par 3, we did have easy math because I was doing a 20% wind adjustment, but the 20% wind adjustment wasn't working for me, so I changed it to a 40. And I know that in a past tournament I was doing a 40% wind adjustment, but the last time I took the shot, I did a 20. And so I started the week off with 20, but it wasn't working. So the 40 is working. The 40 is dead on. So it's a 40% wind adjustment times the wind. So 1.4 times the wind will give you the max wind, and then divide it by 1.2 per ring. That'll tell you how many rings to move. Oh, that's my opponent's turn. I was like, whoa, 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 dude. It's a draw. All right. It's a shootout. And that is the hole that we are going to next, so we don't have to go look at it. I'm not going to take that shot twice. Let's just go take that shot. Do not want to waste any hole-in-ones in a shootout. That is not my idea of any kind of fun. I'm taking a turkey ball and a Guardian. One of these bags has got a Guardian in it, I'm sure. Guardian, Kingmaker, turkey ball, excuse me. It's the only Power 2 low wind ball, and that's the only low wind ball I had at the beginning of the week, so I used it to cut the wind down as much as I could to try and keep myself from having to move over the sand. So if I don't have to do the sand, if I have to get all the way up in the sand to do the adjustment, it throws the adjustment off. I go first times 2.3 equals divided by 1.2. It's 2.7 rings. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 backspin. I want to go right on the outside edge of that cup. It's 2.6 rings, 2.7 rings. There's 1, 2, 7. And I got to snap it off. Hitting it perfect. Woo! That's what I'm talking about right there. Hole-in-one. Yes, sir. Finally got a perfect shot in. Got 2 holes left to try and get one more. Got a par 4 that's super difficult. Even if you make a great drive and end up in a perfect spot, it's super difficult down there. And I'm on a track that I'm doing a max overpower hook on it to try and get me out into the area. If I can get into the right area, I have a serious shot going in with my Hornet. A serious shot. What I should do on that hole is quit dicking around with it and go out there and hit my long iron. How much time I got in this video? 39 minutes. I got plenty of time. What I should do on the next hole And the next hole is Kohong Resort, hole number 5. What I should do on this hole is give myself, so what I'm trying to do is a max overpower hook where I end up out in this area right here. And it's been hit or miss this week. So I ended up in the rocks and I've ended up in the sand, and I can make it from the sand with my Spitfire, and I can make it from the rocks, and I have an adjustment for that. If I can make it out into that area, I have a really serious shot with my short iron. But if I just laid it up out here, I have a serious chance with my long iron or with my wood. And you can do a long iron shot right here, and you can do a rough bump. The way the wind's blowing right now is the wind's blowing parallel to the rough. So it's blowing in the same plane as the rough. So if you move off, if you're off to the left or the right, it's way downhill, and I don't know what the adjustment is for that. So I'm not interested in switching to this shot just because I don't know the adjustment coming in. I know there's a big adjustment because when I'm in the sand, I should be doing a really big adjustment, like a 50% wind adjustment. I gotta stick to the track that I'm on. I like doing the max overpower hook shot on this. I just need to get it to roll out right. So I'm gonna do an extra mile and a Kingmaker. I'm gonna stay on that track. Extra mile, Kingmaker, Sniper, Grizzly, Hornet. I got all my accurate stuff. I got all my stuff if I need it. Let's bring a 3rd anniversary ball. It's a look-alike. That's it. That's all I need. Let's get a chest rolling. Rolling. Working your dashboard. Working it. So I'm going to do 4.5 top spin, 6 right-hand side spin, half a blue ring out into the rough. I went half last time, and it was just a little too much of a half. And I ended up down there in the rocks, and luckily the rocks aren't in play. Or where I was out, I had a great shot. And I actually hit it perfect, and it was just a slight little wind deal I made wrong. 4 and 6. 4.5 and 6. Okay, 2.4, just a little over a ring. See if I can catch it all. And I got it all. Now it's all about clipping the sand right up here, right here. Bam, that's the spot I want to end up in. Bam, right out there in the open. Now don't overshoot. Perfect. Yeah, that's short iron into the cup. That'll work. Okay, my short iron is 1 point. I'm not doing any wind adjustment. It's flat down here. So it's whatever the wind is divided by 1.75 because I'm in mid club. We'll check to see where I'm at in my club. I'll put the wind in, check to see where I'm at in my club. I should be in mid club. My opponent's in the perfect spot for the wood shot. And this is the area that I normally hit to in one-on-one. So 2.7. There's min. There's max. So I'm up towards max. So it's straight up wind. 2.7. A little bit of backspin. Right up on the cup. 2.7. 2.7 rings. Let's line that up. All right, let's see if I can hit this perfect. Hitting it perfect. This is the only par 4 this week I haven't hit. Let's see if I can catch it. Woo! That's what I'm talking about right there. That is what I'm talking about. There's still a ton of work that had to get done there, but that is getting it done. Still got a great Albie shot on hole number 9. It's all about the drive. And the last time in my odd account on hole number 18, I actually ended up in the rough on the drive and just bled off into the rough on the right-hand side and had to scramble and get up there with my Nirvana and put myself in position and saved my eagle. Almost choked on hole number 18. I've had that happen. I've had that happen twice in tournaments where I've choked on hole number 18 that I have on video. It was not good. Had the tournament in the bag. All I had to do was go get the eagle and ended up getting a birdie and ended up losing both tournaments. Not good. That's the deal about playing golf classes. Every single hole you're not done until you're done with the 18th hole and everything's done and you see your final score. I mean, that's why these tournaments are such emotional ups and downs and highs and lows, especially if you're playing, if you're going for banners every week, you know, that's your whole goal. There's a lot of pressure. We have a friend of the clan, Dez, used to be in our clans, and he's like that. He puts so much pressure on himself that, I mean, it makes you, I mean, you're wiped. Monday after a tournament, you're one of those manic depressives. I mean, you're like way on a low on Monday after a tournament, way on a low, regardless of whether you win or lost. It's always better when you win. At least you have, some consolation, but the emotional highs in this game are high and the emotional lows are low. All right. I switched. One of the things that I did was I switched to a Kingmaker so I could get more distance, or a QB so I could get more distance. And I've been practicing the shot all week long with the rock. And I think the QB is actually a better club for the shot. And I think I just hit it. I think I just hit it wrong. So the QB is actually the better club. I'm bringing a Kingmaker. I'm bringing a sniper. Let's open up that pin chest. Get that rolling. All right, here we go. One hole at a time. QB, Kingmaker. I'm going to be somewhere around plus 10. 2.5 rings off. All right. 2.5 rings off, and I'm at the plus 10. Dial that sucker up to the cup. Two 9. It's 3 rings. And let's get online there. I'm going to put some curl on it to bring it back to the fairway. Hitting it perfect. Trying to bleed myself up to the shadows. I picked up a little bit of distance with the QB versus the rock, because the rock topspin where I was at down there couldn't quite get me up unless I wanted to do a whole bunch of curl. I like hitting to the left-hand side. If you're going for eagle, you can hit to the left-hand side, and I'm not saying it's easy. And I have seen somebody hit an Albie from over here one time, and they did it where they did their second shot was like over the trees I usually go around the trees in one-on-one. But they got into a spot, they were way in the hell down there, and they got into a spot where they were able to do it. And oh my God. Oh my God. I have no idea where this shot's going to go. Especially, I have no idea. Yeah. I have no idea where that shot's going to go, dude. Close. Close. Nice shot. Okay. Times 2.2. It's 2.3 rings. And the ball guide's lying just a little. It's 2.3 rings. Let's see if I can get the Albie here. Come on. I haven't got this Albie all week. Oh, and I hit it great to the right. I won't be getting the Albie today. Now that shot's right there, dead on, dude. The only way that's going to go in is on perfect. The only way I'll have a shot of it going in is on a perfect. On almost, I've got probably 7, maybe 8 of the 9 holes down to the point where, like, if you hit it perfect and you go in, if you don't make it, I mean, it's like, that's a heartbreaker. All right. I actually don't even know where I ended up. I think I picked up 3. I think. I may have only picked up 2. I may be wishful thinking. It seemed like I had 3 woohoos there. I think I had 1 in each 3-hole bracket. And I left 3 right on the edge of the cup where I didn't hit perfect. So I mean, that's the deal. I left a ton of stuff on the table where I was right there. So whatever I shot on the front, the back, I have tons of room for improvement. I will forfeit. No, I'm not going first. I will go first. I will do this right here. Forfeit. All right, that was the front 9. Let's see how I ended up. 15. So I did pick up 3 on the front. So I put myself on track. I mean, the more you can pick up on a side, the better, like going into the back. In my automatic, I had a 16 on the front and I got a 14 on the back. And it's not that it gives you any, it's not that it gives you any breathing room, but it does give you some breathing room. But you still you have to pick up every shot. I mean, that's the deal. So I left at least 3 of those holes, if not 4, where I was like right on the edge of the cup where I didn't hit perfect going in. My adjustment was right. I made all my adjustments right. I had the right stuff. I was in the right spot and I didn't hit it perfect. And so I have lots of room for improvement here on that round. But I did put myself in a position where I can go for the win, because I think it's going to take a -30 to get a win. It'll at least put me in the hunt. If somebody comes up there and can shoot a 30 with an Albie or a 31, then they beat me. But I want to stick on this track. But I need to start off stronger. I need that to be 2-2-2 right there at the very beginning. All right, that was the front 9 of the Paradise Islands tournament in the weekend round of the Ricky division. Thanks for watching.